For Kansas City, it sits at 5-5, hosts the Colts, who have the best offense in the league. They're averaging 32 points a game. Mahomes leads the 9th best scoring offense. Brood, how much pressure is Mahomes under to keep up with the Colts?
Oh, I think it's the most pressure he's ever faced in a regular season game in his career. And I think their worst record, Nick, was back in 2021. They were 3-4.
They were 3-4, and then that was they escaped
won 8
against
straight,
the Giants,
right?
and then they had the pass heard around the world against the Packers. But they didn't play well in those games.
Right.
But they won them, and they went on a run.
Win streak.
Yes.
But 3-4 is still so early in the season.
It's different than 5-5.
Yeah, so this is the most pressure he's faced because it's the first time they actually it's a real threat that they could miss the playoffs.
Correct.
But beyond that, and he's having certainly a better year than the last two, but it's not your vintage type of Patrick Mahomes season. Mm-hmm. I think I have a graphic where it shows where his ranks. Okay, so passer rating, I mean, right in the middle, completion percentage, which, not a huge deal, but still. Yards per pass, 12th. The passing yards are a lot, but that's about it. Touchdown to interception ratio is right in the middle.
Can I show you a counter graphic to see how you square it?
Yeah.
And I'll let you keep going. So here's passing yards, he's second. Total yards, he's first. Total touchdowns, he's third. Touchdown to turnover, he's fifth. So he has not been wildly efficient. Well, you know what I mean? Which is the completion percentage and the passer rating. Also, he doesn't get credit in his passer rating for the rushing touchdowns, which is, helping here. But obviously, they are, whether they're not tush-push touchdowns. I know those count the same, but they are,
No, but his have been.
They felt like they've had some heft to them.
Yeah.
So I agree. It doesn't feel to me like he's having a vintage Mahomes season. But I do feel like
he's not having a bad year, but he's not having a best quarterback in the league year.
I agree with that.
And this, I'm not belittling total yards. But Daniel Jones, I think, leads the league in yards, passing yards. So a lot of times passing yards can be deceiving, because if your team is down or you're just a team that throws a lot. That's why, like you said, I like yards per attempt a lot because that really shows something different. But my point is this. If they miss the playoffs, and certainly if it's Josh or Lamar finally gets to a Super Bowl, I think going into next season, a lot of people will be saying, people have already alluded here and there to it, but that he is not the best quarterback in the league anymore.
Okay. Every conversation doesn't need to get reduced down to who is the best quarterback in the league anymore. And quite frankly, Mahomes hasn't been the best quarterback in the NFL over these last couple of years. It's just a reality. And you can't go by, well, he won the Super Bowl. And it's like, he didn't win the Super Bowl last year. And if you want to just go by who went, and it's like, well, the Jalen Hurts won. So then does that mean that he's better than Patrick Mahomes? And I don't think any Mahomes fan is arguing that. And you can't say, well, the so-and-so beat so-and-so in the playoffs. It's like, none of that matters. None of that matters when we're actually having this grand conversation of who is the best quarterback in the NFL. And it's an uninteresting conversation to have right now when we're talking about the Chiefs 5-5 and outside of the playoffs. Like, we can actually talk about Chiefs football rather than constantly being obsessed with legacy conversations or the endless, was Patrick Mahomes having a good year in 23? How about 24? How about 25? We get to just be like, this is what the Chiefs and Mahomes have to do. This is a big game against the Colts. Like, I'm excited. When I'm looking at this clip and I'm setting it up, I'm like, oh, you know what? This is actually a great clip because, and I'm thinking to myself, this actually matters now. The Chiefs have a game right now in the regular season against the Indianapolis Colts, and it matters. We don't get to say, it's Gardner Minshew and, whoever. Whatever. This game means nothing. The Chiefs all have the division. They're up 3 games in division. The Broncos are a mess. The Chargers are a mess. The Raiders are a mess. The Chiefs have the number 1 seed, or they're a game back from the number 1 seed. This game actually matters. It has stakes involved. So let's not reduce this conversation into what is the perception of Patrick Mahomes right now. Well, he's actually having a better year than people realize, which is real rich coming from Nick Wright, wanting to now use total touchdowns and total yards per game and stuff like that. He never wants to do that And when it's to elevate a Josh Allen or a Jalen Hurts or something, but when it's used to elevate a Patrick Mahomes, then he wants to do it. It's like, miss me with the nonsense right now. Absolutely. Oh, he doesn't get credit for the touchdowns for his passer rating when he's rushing. Oh, neither does Josh Allen. Neither does Lamar. Neither does Jalen. And, so just stop. Stop with the nonsense. I mean, you want to downplay these other touchdowns. First off, all of Jalen Hurts' touchdowns are not tush-push, number one. Josh Allen has 10 rushing touchdowns. Jackson Dart has 7. So, just settle down, man. And some of those touchdowns that Patrick Mahomes has had, they're not scrambles. They're designed runs. Okay? That are set up by, say it with me, Andy Reid. So I think we can, relax on some of this. I mean, you want to talk about oomph? Yards after contact? 224 for Josh Allen. 167 for Jackson Dart. 115 for Jalen Hurts. 90 for Daniel Jones. 78 for Patrick Mahomes. So calm down, okay? Seriously. Jaden Daniels, who haven't even played the full season, 239 yards after contact. Bonkers. So every conversation that we have about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, we don't have to cook the books. It's okay. Patrick Mahomes has been a great quarterback this year. He's been a great quarterback. He hasn't been the best. It hasn't been perfect. He's messed up in lots of moments. So it's not about just how many total touchdowns do you have? What's your yards per game? It's like, I don't know. There was a handful of games that he missed really crucial, important throws. There was moments in games where he turned the ball over, had a back-breaking interception. That's what people mean in those moments. And he wasn't then good enough to overcome it. But this is where, I'm actually grateful where we're at with the Chiefs right now. And it's funny because I was going to talk about this, but I know some Chiefs fans are going to take it in the negative. And I understand why. Because if you're a Chiefs fan or a Mahomes fan, you want them to be undefeated right now, right? You want them to win every single game. You want them to win, all day, every day. And I get it, obviously, right? You're a fan of that team. That's what you want. Totally get it. You want to be dominant. You want to be unstoppable. But from a fan perspective, the outside looking in, from someone who just loves the NFL and loves football, like I said, it's great that this game actually matters. It's great that there's a feeling that the Kansas City Chiefs are in trouble, that they could actually lose this game. It's what I said when the NFC North started to get built up, when it felt like the NFC East was before Jaden got injured and now Jackson Dart. It's good for football to have these divisions being competitive. It's good to have the conferences competitive. It's good entertainment. It's awesome to be the Indianapolis Colts are winning, but who are they? Can they win with Daniel Jones? Can Daniel Jones and this Colts team beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Once upon a time, you would say no, and that's the dumbest question to even ask. Why even bring this up? And if the Chiefs do lose this game, it was it was an off game, it was a random game, it's a catch game, what are you going to do? And that's not fun. That's not interesting. That's not exciting. Watching Patrick Mahomes play, Aiden O'Connell is not interesting. It's just not, right? It's just and an interim head coach. It's that. Who cares about that? I don't. Watching the Philadelphia Eagles play the Dallas Cowboys with Cooper Rush. Who cares? I don't. And so it's great that this actually matters. And because of that, there is tremendous pressure on Patrick Mahomes. And it doesn't have to be reduced to, well, if he loses, will it be proof that he's not the best quarterback in the NFL right now? And it's just dude, this matters for the Kansas City Chiefs, not just a legacy conversation for Patrick Mahomes. And then again, that's why I took issue where Nick is well, let's actually really talk about how great Patrick Mahomes has actually been. And he wants to bring up numbers that he never brings up. Total touchdowns, total yards per game. He never does that. He never does that. Who has more total yards per game in the playoffs? Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen? Oh, it's Josh Allen. Who has a better touchdown to interception ratio in the playoffs? It's Josh Allen. So that's where I'm just miss me with that right now. And that's not the conversation that we have to have. We don't have to bring in this conversation and actually defend Patrick Mahomes. If someone is trying to make the argument that Patrick Mahomes is a bad quarterback, then sure. No one's making that argument right now. No one's making that argument. Patrick Mahomes absolutely positively got outplayed by Bo Nix on Sunday. It is not proof that Bo Nix is now better than Patrick Mahomes. No one's making that argument. So it's just, I don't know. It just seems so hard to have real conversations about the Kansas City Chiefs. Even at the bottom, you can see Mahomes in his last 3 games, a 1-2 record, 4 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and an 80.4 passer rating. Yeah, that's a problem. And if it was any other quarterback, you'd be ripping him. You wouldn't say, well, actually, he's actually having a pretty good... You would not do that. And in fact, when other quarterbacks have successful seasons or they're doing pretty well, it's always, well, look who they're doing it against. Bo Nix hasn't... Oh, look at what his numbers are against playoff teams. Teams with a winning record. But with Mahomes, it's like, let's talk about this other stuff. It's like, come on, man. Come on. But I know I'm going to get flagged as a hater now of Mahomes with Chiefs when, like, I'm literally defending the aspect of, like, let's just have a real discussion here. Like, I'm not using this as a platform right now to be like, Patrick Mahomes has actually been awful, and now allow me to explain to you why. That's not what I'm doing right now. I'm not doing that at all. I don't think Patrick Mahomes has been bad at all this year. But it's still an objectively accurate statement and a totally acceptable opinion to have that Patrick Mahomes has not been this head and shoulders best quarterback in the NFL over these last couple of seasons or so. We're not talking about who has had a better legacy. We're not talking about who's had a better career. We're just talking about playing quarterback. And it's okay. It's okay. Tom Brady was not considered the best quarterback every single season. And even when he had a whole collection of Super Bowls and a whole collection of MVP, as a whole collection of all you would ever need, people were still like, I think Aaron Rodgers is better. I think Peyton Manning is better. I think Andrew Luck is coming. Whoever you want to use. And it's like, that's okay. It's okay. We don't have to be sensitive about it. We don't have to cook the books. We don't have to try to be like, well, let's talk about this over here instead of what's over there. We don't have to do it. It's okay. Pretty sure when Tom Brady won his Super Bowl, even with we could just say Tampa Bay, they won the Super Bowl, his 7th. I don't think anyone was necessarily saying he is the best quarterback currently in the NFL. They were saying he's the GOAT, saying his legacy is practically untouchable. But I'm not so sure people were saying Tom Brady is if we were doing a draft right now, who would we draft? Like, I don't think many people, everyone was just like, that's absolutely Tom Brady. People were willing to say Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, whatever. And whatever year you want to use, 2018, 19, 20. And that's when he had a boatload of rings, a boatload of stats. And it's not like he fell off a cliff and was just like, it's not like this was like a Aaron Rodgers type situation where you're like, yeah, well, I don't know. Things just don't look quite right. They still looked great. So it's okay. It'll be okay. I promise you. Mahomes fans, I promise you, you'll be okay. It'll be okay. I promise you. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs? How much pressure is on Mahomes Sunday? A ton. Not because of the risk of losing the coveted title of I'm the best quarterback, but because the Kansas City Chiefs need a big game out of him to be able to make the playoffs. And they're going up against what should be a really good team. That's why the pressure is on him. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.